Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 4. We will explain about extensive reading and listening in the L2 classroom. So the first one, we will talk about the extensive reading. What is extensive reading? Extensive reading is reading longer text, example books for pleasure, and to develop general reading skills. Extensive reading is used to obtain a general understanding of a subject and includes reading longer text for pleasure. Extensive reading can help students to develop reading fluency. So what are the language learning benefits of extensive reading? First one, extensive reading can enhance vocabulary development. When students do a lot of reading, they have multiple meaningful encounters over time with words and word patterns. Over that time, their vocabulary size tends to increase and can also develop a deeper understanding of the word. The second one, extensive reading gain a better grasp of grammar of the language. In extensive reading, students repeatedly encounter a variety of grammatical patterns in context that allow them to develop a better sense of how these grammatical are used to communicate meaningful messages. The third one, extensive reading can help L2 learners read at faster rate. Faster reading speed is important to fluent reading. When students read too slowly, they will not have enough cognitive resources to comprehend the overall of the text. Extensive reading can help them to develop their word recognition skills. And the fourth one, it helps students to become more knowledgeable about many different topics. Research suggests that successful reading requires both language and context knowledge. Extensive reading not only helps students to develop English skills, but also expand their knowledge base. And the fifth one is it helps students to develop more positive attitude towards reading. Students who read in quantity and enjoy what they read, becoming more eager to go beyond their comfort zone and explore a wider variety of texts, including more challenging texts. And the last one, it develops higher confidence and motivation. L2 students, especially those with low proficiency, often find learning English a frustrating experience. Now we move to the extensive listening. Extensive listening is a way to help develop listening fluency. Fluency in listening allows L2 students to process spoken text with greater ease, accuracy, and comprehension. In order to build fluency in listening, students will need to do a large quantity of listening so that they can recognize words they hear effortlessly. At the same time, understanding the overall meaning of the text to which they are listening. So the benefits of extensive listening is the first one, extensive listening can increase learners' ability to deal with speech rate. Students often cannot understand much of what they hear, not because the content is difficult or the language is too hard, but because the speaker speaks too fast for L2 learners to process the incoming data. The second one, extensive listening can improve students' oral word recognition skill. The teacher respondent in the Wong and Renandia study suggested that repeated exposure to spoken language via extensive listening could help students develop automaticity in sound-script relationship. And the next one, extensive listening can enhance students' bottom-up listening skill. In normal speech, words often take on different forms from when they are said in isolation. A variety of sound blending such as assimilation, contraction, syllabification, commonly found in connected speech are known to cause listening problems. And the fourth one, it increased familiarity with common language features of spoken form of the target language. Spoken language also tends to be less formal or colloquial and colored by the presence of slang or non-standard grammar and vocabulary, more often than in written language. The fifth one, it can provide many opportunities to experience a higher and deeper level of language comprehension than when listening to a recording once or twice in a listening lesson. And the last one, it improves not only in listening comprehension, but also in vocabulary, speaking, reading skills, as well as higher confidence in the language. Next, the next material will be explained by Mayang Wahyuni.
Principle for implementing extensive reading and extensive listening. Principle 1. The objective of the extensive reading or extensive listening programs should be made clear to everyone involved. The importance of the first principle cannot be overemphasized. Without clear, well-articulated objectives, the programs are not likely to succeed. Principle 2. The programs should ensure that students read and listen in quantity. Quality is perhaps the most crucial factor that contributes to L2 student language development. Principle 3. The program should make available reading and listening material which are within students' linguistic competence. Material for extensive reading and extensive listening should be the right level. Material for extensive listening in particular should be pitched at or often below students' current level of competence. Principle 4. Teachers should provide ongoing support to every student, especially those who need help most with the reading and listening. Teachers play an important role in the success of the extensive reading and extensive listening programs. Principle 5. Students' motivation should be kept high throughout the programs, as reading and listening is challenging for L2 students. It is not easy for them to sustain their motivation over the long term. Principle 6. Teachers should encourage students to do simultaneous reading and listening. Simultaneous reading and listening activities such as reading while listening can provide an important support to help lower proficiency L2 learners achieve greater comprehension. Principle 7. Teachers should provide interesting and enjoyable post-reading and listening activities. Reading interesting books or watching fascinating movie can be a motivating experience of the student. The next is problems and concerns of extensive reading and extensive listening. The first one is limited resources to implement extensive reading and extensive listening. Lack of funding is often cited as a key reason for the lack of suitable reading and listening materials. Second is extensive reading and extensive listening are often implemented as an out-of-class or extracurricular activity where students are expected to self-select their reading and listening materials and read them in their free time. But teachers tend to have lack of time to monitor it. The third one is, in the case of extensive reading during the USSR, uninterrupted sustained silent reading session in the classroom, it is something teachers and students do not normally associate with good teaching practice. The last one is, the benefit of extensive reading and extensive listening can only be felt after a rather lengthy period of time. It is not uncommon that the tangible benefit begin to appear after 6 months or sometimes longer. Okay, that's all for us. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.